I've been friends with Don for quite a while, working on various projects. I keep walking by this Packard, just looking at it, imagining its potential. I want to chop this thing and make it a lead sled for my friend Tom. I talked to Don about this car. I wasn't sure if he was attached to it or not. He couldn't get rid of it fast enough. He had no use for it.
It's been sitting here for 10 years at least, and it was a parts car, so it's all yours. It's amazing how you've taken the worst of the projects and done the best with them.
It's easy to make a good car look good.
It's the beat-up ones are the challenge, aren't they?
I'm stoked. It's on. We're moving the car out. I've been looking at this thing sitting still for years. Finally, we're moving it. I get it out in the parking lot, and it's like all wrong. I was so amped up to get this thing in the shop. It's like I had blinders on, you know? I was just looking at it for what I saw as potential. Once I got it in the shop, I realized there was just so much ugly, I didn't know how to handle it. I'm just gonna start by chopping the heck out of it. No plan. I think it looks better already. The standard procedure in cutting any car's roof off is to brace up the interior. You don't want the thing to shift. You want it to stay just as it is so the door is shut properly. I'm just not doing any of that. I've done enough metal work, I've cut apart enough cars to know what I can get away with. I think I can get away with it. Cutting off the top was the right call. Now I just got to figure out the roof line. My friend Tom is a graphic artist. He's done a lot of work for me in the past with t-shirts and other designs. I took a side shot of the car with the roof on and sent it to Tom and just see what he comes up with. Maybe he's seeing something I'm not.
He sends it to me and it's pretty rough. I see where the car has potential and I try to bring it to life on the computer. When I had gotten to my final rendering of the Packard, I sent it to Ian and I didn't know how he was going to react.
Tom's fast. I get an email back the same day of this rendering, and it's pretty cool. He took the windshield and he raked it forward. I've never seen that done before. Typically, if you chop a top, you may rake the windshield back, but this one was so slanted back, he moved it forward and he put a nice slope in the rear of the roof line. Very cool design. Just standing the windshield up like that, it looked like garbage. It was ill-fitting, but Tom's design looks good. I just have to make my metalwork follow his idea. These two templates came off of a 59 Volkswagen and a 51 Henry J. So you can see that their windshield angles are even more upright than where I'm at now with this Packard window. You can see how the side rails are really projecting upwards. So I'm just trying to make it look a little bit more like a Merc or something that's a little more popular. As I tilted the windshield forward, it was causing the center of it to dip below the cowl, the skin of the body. But the main problem I'm facing is these curves are designed to have the glass at the factory angle. As I'm raising it forward, the glass is falling down. So you can see the huge difference. This is about where the factory glass sat, way back. Something about fixed metal shapes. When you put them in a place they're not supposed to be, it's just unforgiving. It's kind of a hurdle to make this windshield look right. I tried a couple different options. I took a couple shims and I shimmed it up, moved the windshield around to get it sit more vertically. For now, I'm just gonna let this sit here, build out all of the structures around the side windows, that way it has strength, and then later I'll bring up this bottom lip. Setting up a chop like this without any direction is kind of dicey. So I'm just trying to feel my way through it, and that's by leading off with this windshield and figuring the rest out. This is really gonna define what the car looks like, setting up these door frame surrounds. It's also a structural part of the car, so I'm just trying to use what I have, make a couple splices, and just come up with a shape that I like. My special envisioning tool. Ah, yes, the cardboard envisioning tool. It's something that you don't see a lot, but everybody's got one. Just hold it up and look through. The whole idea with this envisioning tool is like blinders on a horse, right? You just see what you need to and carry on. My job is done here. I'm liking how the sides of the car are coming out, but I'm gotta get this roof skin on. Thinking maybe the original one will work, even though I don't want to use it. I think I'm just gonna put it on there and just check it out. Once I got it back on in place, it seems like it'll fit, but it's still got issues. You know, it was designed with this big bulge in the rear, and I'm trying to get away from that. The roof skin fits, but it's all about refining it. It wasn't designed to be in this orientation, so there's a bulge that needs to be fixed. The whole thing about it is just metal, you know, make a couple cuts, reposition it, and problem solved. It's pretty rad. I just cut it, put it in place, and, you know, a couple little pinches and clamps, and the thing fits great. I'm gonna take the whole rear portion of the roof and just tack weld it back in place. It's at a totally different angle, but it seems like it's flowing. It lines up pretty darn good. The main concern for me now is what's gonna happen in here. This last part of assembling the roof really is the line of the car. It's what I've been trying to improve on. And that's the issue. You got a flat spot. You got to work around that. And that's going to be a challenge. I had this idea. I've done it on a couple other things. I just use a pneumatic hammer. I just rattle it real quick, just in a circular pattern, crisscross. What it does is creates a dome. Uh-oh, there goes the neighborhood. What's up, man?
Wow.
Got a car.
This is the Packard, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't like that 4 days ago, remember?
So being excited about seeing this Packard underway, I gave Ian a call and I said, hey, I gotta come down. I gotta take a look at this thing. Being that I barely sent the artwork to Ian just a matter of days ago, I'm blown away at how much he's accomplished.
I think Tom's really stoked. The roofline matches his drawing, I mean, almost to the T. So, I mean, what do you think?
I dig it. It almost makes you wonder why it wasn't built this way to begin with.
You know, that's something I've been saying all along.
It's very cool to see another artist take my artwork and make it even better.
And just putting it on the ground and chopping the top, he loves it.
Now that I see it here in person, I like it as a four-door.
Do you like my lowering kit so far?
What'd you do?
Well, I lowered it, right? Isn't that how you do it?
Yeah, you just took the wheels off?
That's about it.
That's one way to get it down.
Yeah. So it won't be this low, obviously. I'll have to figure out what to do with the springs. I'm thinking about just torching the springs and putting some blocks in the back.
Yeah.
So we'll see. If this thing runs, then you're kind of ready to go. We'll make the brakes work and hopefully it starts up. Don has been pretty good about that. He's pretty mechanically minded and he says it runs. He had it running a few years ago, so.
Okay, good. Be the coolest family on the boulevard, I tell you what.
He really wanted a big old chop top lead sled. He's got it. So this roof is bondoed out for 3 full days. I got just a little over 2 gallons of Bondo on it. So I had to make the whole thing flow into one nice dome. And I think I did that. It looks pretty good. So the last part of the equation is these door frames. This is the trickiest part of the whole deal. And to sum it up is if people can't figure out where you cut it, then you succeed. Just building stuff that you haven't done before, it's just the adventure of it, you know? It's like I want to come out successful in everything I'm doing, but also the spice of it is getting that agitation of not knowing. I was so bummed out when I started this project. I can't put in words how disappointed I was at the selection I had made. But I think this thing's gonna be all right. All the body fillers set. Eastwood gave me this urethane high build primer, and I'm just gonna coat the whole car with it. 3 heavy coats, because it's a filler primer, and then I can come back and block sand it. This is the first time you really get to see what the car looks like. It's all blotchy, you know, Bondo spots, metal spots, different tones, so having it all in one color is gonna be really cool. Once I get this thing all one color, a good primer coat on it, you're really gonna see what the car looks like. And that's really what I've been looking forward to. This chop top is what makes the car. It's looking good. It's like a one-piece, one-color car now, but I gotta see it at ride height. One of the things from the start was how tall this car was, how high it was off the street. I'm looking to get a 4-inch drop out of it, easy. Everything is rusted, stuck, typical scene. I always hate this part of the job. In case you're wondering how my nose got so rearranged, doing exactly this. No joke. Coil spring shot out of the car, hit me in the face. That's a big piece of metal that hits you in the face, huh? This is the old school lowering technique. Before there was all these fancy kits and airbags and yada, 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 you would cut the springs or you would heat them with a torch. Those were the options. So I'm doing it just like they would have done it back in the day. I started off by cutting just about 2 coils off, a little bit more. It's hard to say exactly what the drop's gonna be until it's installed back in the car, because the spring rate changes, you really can't calculate it. So I'm just gonna cut both springs to match and set them in the car until it looks the way I think it should. That's what I'm talking about. It makes all the difference. It's a pretty serious family car, that's for sure. Makes me want to have a couple kids. Victor and I wanted to make a bubble top car, so we went about it in a way that would create this enormous plastic shape. So this is a miniature version of that. I just took this piece of a barbecue grill, put some foil on it, and then I have a propane heater. I'm gonna heat up the plastic and form it into a couple taillight lenses. I did a lot of experimenting with Victor on the bubble top, and I found out that 300 degrees is when the plexiglass starts to become formable. They make spaceships and stuff out of this, and here I am with a piece of the old refrigerator and a propane grill. My whole idea is getting this plastic really preheated well, that way it has time to go into the clamp before cooling back off. I took this piece of aluminum and put it in the roller to match the arc on this. It's just like the bubble top. It's got an air source with a base plate and some holes to let the air come through. And then there's a clamping ring that's gonna hold the plastic down to the base plate. Warm it up with the clamps and then inflate the lens through that retaining ring. Portacool sent over one of their huge shop fans to keep the temperature in this place under control. I was also able to use it to cool down the plastic lens. If it stays molten for too long, it could change shape. It's the same idea as the bubble tops, just way smaller. This thing's pretty much wrapped. I'm excited to see Tom's reaction when he sees it. There's a lot of work getting the car to a finished state. I really busted it out. I can't wait for Tom to see it, so I'm really excited for him to check it out. It's like his idea come to life. We're ready, man.
Oh,
Check it out.
oh man. You're kidding, right?
It's the real deal.
Wow. Ian, man, that is one gorgeous machine. Look at that. When I first walked in and saw the Packard, I was blown away. It's amazing looking. It's actually a lot cooler than I could imagine.
The thing about when Tom walked in, the last time he saw the car, it was a shambles. I mean, there was just loose ends everywhere.
This is a perfect color for it. Holy smokes.
Yeah, you gotta see it in the sun. It pops pretty cool. I got this black cherry paint that complements it beautifully.
First thing I noticed when I walked in is the amount of time and work that went into it. There's a lot of customizing there.
All Tom's drawings were side views, so for him to look at it and see the angle of the A, B, and C pillars, it really meant a lot to him. I made these two taillights. It didn't have any taillights. Just kind of fresh.
Those?
Yeah, I blew them out of plastic, kind of like mini bubble tops.
No, man, you're kidding, those are.
Because remember, it didn't have any lenses.
Ian tells me that he custom made these things himself, and I'm just shocked again. It's like, what can't this guy do?
The fact that this thing is a good stock runner really helps out in the end because he can enjoy it. He doesn't need to do all this other modifications. It's a complete factory stock Packard with a pretty nice chop top.
When I first sat inside the Packard, man, I couldn't help but feel, man, this is cool. I'm ready to cruise, man. And I am one cool dude because I'm cruising this thing. You want to go cruise? Hey, me and Sean Pound are cruising, man.
This was a very emotional experience. We took that car out of the carport and I was angry. I was just thinking we were going in a bad direction. I pulled through, you know? I was really thinking about quitting a lot of times. Tom's drawings helped me, and then finally seeing the metal change shape is kind of what led me to doing the finish work right.
There's one thing I've noticed about Ian. When it comes to customizing a car, is he's driven. He has something in mind, he sets a goal, and he goes for it. When we're thinking about where's the coffee, he's thinking about what do I have to do next to this car? What do I want to do next to this car? And he goes for it.
The whole deal with this is I was trying to help Tom out. He's done a ton of work for me. The least I could do is return the favor. So to really push my limits as far as the fabrication and finish work, it's just something to say thanks to Tom.
It's really undescribable. I can't talk about how grateful I am because there's no words to express it. I mean, other than getting in there and cruising down the boulevard with a big grin on my face, there's no real way to express how just excited I am. It's a cool car and I cannot wait to show it off.
This project is a great example of what I've been doing with my career. Just trying to be creative and push something further is what I'm all about. Just trying to discover new ideas. Keep the people happy, give them what they want, on to the next. At my friend Kai's house, he's a total motorcycle fanatic. Says he's got some project that I might be interested in. I've been friends with Kai for almost 15 years. He's been an editor for Easy Riders forever, so I know he's got some treasure in his garage.
I said, well, come on by and I'll show it to you. I'm amazed I hadn't shown it to him all these years.
See some Harleys and stuff.
Well, it has its own special place of honor.
Huh. So I'm thinking I'm gonna walk in and go into his garage, check out some cool bikes. He makes me take a hard right turn around the camper into the back 40, and he's got something old from the 70s. All right. Looks like a piece of a Volkswagen.
Yeah. And that's pretty much all I got.
This is like a raw piece of steel. It's definitely part of a Volkswagen. It's got some weird frame attached to it. The framework was pretty rough, but what he had there was a great looking, old school fiberglass trike. Kai is a hardcore motorcycle guy. He's all about the two wheels, and that's why this trike was on the side.
There was this one deal, the guy had all kinds of junk lying around and he wanted to get rid of this trike, but he just tossed it in with whatever bike I had bought at the time, and I didn't really want it because I don't like trikes too much. Like I said, I don't know anything about it. This is not my thing, you know, so.
I'm glad it's not yours, because I feel pretty comfortable here.
Okay.
Look, it's made for me, man. It's ideal. Right, Hound? I see this as real potential. I think I'm gonna try to prove something to him. He's trying to get rid of some junk, and I'm gonna show him the real deal. It's a long walk back from Kai's. Watch it, beast. It was just a burning question why this thing was disassembled and thrown in the backyard. That's the telltale right there. Somebody crashed it. But it's all about this fiberglass body. That's the thing. I don't know what those people were thinking back in the 70s, because this is a pretty wacky ride, all in all. But that's what I like about it. It's weird. Standing on their own, the front is one look and the rear is another look. You got this really cool, almost like a waterfall setup with multiple levels here. And then it goes right back to this strange faceted cubist thing. So it's two different styles completely. It's just gonna be a couple little changes. The first being I'm just gonna rebuild the whole motorcycle. This is an ugly kit. I've never made any claim that these were good-looking bikes, you know? So I'm just gonna cut it apart and make something that I like. I've never built one of these. I've wanted to since I was 15 years old. You know, this is like one of those must-do things. I was actually getting some flack from a couple friends because they said, oh, you said you'd never build the same thing twice. But I built another trike. It's a forward engine. The axle's behind it. It was a motorcycle engine. This is a completely different take on a three-wheel vehicle. It's like saying I already built a car before because it has 4 tires. Mechanically, it's all Volkswagen. I'm gonna need a motorcycle front rim and front forks. And I have ideas about all of it. It's just a matter of getting this frame figured out. Yeah. It's just small. I didn't realize they were this small. Or maybe I didn't realize I was this big. You see pictures of guys on them and they just look like, yeah, you know. But my legs are almost as long as the thing. So the handlebars are right here. It's like a little mini bike. I want my arms like this. Well, fortunately, the frame is trash. So all I gotta do is cut the frame off and I'll just make a new frame. Pretty simple. Yeah. Let's get to it. I thought there was something too heavy with this whole chassis. They filled this with lead to weight it down, I'm sure. I'm not gonna fill my frame with lead. I gotta come up with something better. So that means you need some weight on the front. I think I'm gonna have to build a very heavy chassis, which is cool. I'll make a cool tube chassis and just try to keep the weight as forward as possible, probably with an 8-inch stretch from where it was. So I'm just gonna cut this fiberglass body in half again, set the back on, and just see where the nose ends up. I'll put it 8 inches away from where it was and see how it looks. We're gonna do a little milk crate mock-up. Hey, look, this has been done by all the great builders throughout time. See, now there's a little more room. Handlebars here. It'll be easy to do. Well, one thing Rich told me about was the rake of the fork, you know, the inclination of the fork tubes. He's talking about his headset being at 58 degrees. So that's where I'm really starting off the whole thing. I set up this jig here. All this is gonna do is put that same diameter tube at a 58-degree inclination. I don't know what that means technically, but that's what the old man told me to do. He's been doing trikes for years, so I'm not gonna reinvent anything. For lack of a better term, this is more of a traditional build. You know, these trikes were happening in the 70s as kits. So just like the hot rodders were all building their cars for the purpose of speed, these things were all built with some kind of weird style in mind. And that's all I'm trying to do with this. So the only thing that's gonna determine the arc in these tubes is the shape of the fiberglass body. I'm gonna use 1.5 DOM. It's 1/8 wall tube. It's roll cage stuff. And I'm gonna come forward with 4 tubes, almost like a truss. They're gonna come forward and curve up below the fiberglass body. The old frame was a really basic shape. It was a rectangle tube with a gusset in it, and no wonder it bent. My challenge is to create a metal structure that's cool looking and super strong. Now I'm gonna try to one-up this design by making it look a little cooler and way stronger. I'm gonna use 1.5 round tube, DOM, it's roll cage material. I'm gonna curve it so that it follows a nice graceful arc, just like the neck of this fiberglass body. And I'm gonna make 4 tubes, kind of like a teepee on its side that goes right up to the headset. Massive curved tube steel structure. Just to fit these up real quick, I'm gonna tack it in place. You could build this thing out of a giant piece of I-beam, and it would be incredibly strong. It is form over function, I think. I want it to look cool, but incorporating a great strength factor in it. That's why using these 4 tubes, it's a pretty delicate, graceful looking design, but it's super strong. It's like the works of nature, you know? You look at your skeleton, it's a pretty cool thing without the skin, you know? Everything should follow suit, right? So even though this is underneath this fiberglass body, it should still be something cool looking. So your forks are pivoting on the center arc, so they won't steer very far. See that? So that's there, you only have that much steering. So I gotta bring them in. Now it'll steer. See, before the tubes are so wide that these things wouldn't turn, but now it's fine. This piece is gonna get cut back out. My whole concept is just fitting these tubes up to it. That's why I'm only gonna spot weld everything. I'm gonna make 2 more lower tubes the same way as I did the upper ones. Put it through the roller, trim them back. That's next. I'm building my own custom thing, and that's really what it's about. You know, everybody's got their idea. I see pieces of this machine that I don't like, so they're going away. No regrets. I think I'm just gonna come vertically with 2 round tubes and just some kind of an angle iron straight across. That's the whole deal. Pops right back on like it used to. The thing is, you need all the stuff. You know, I got a good start on it, but you can't commit to anything design-wise until you have all the other elements. So I still got to get rear tires, an engine, and transaxle. Score. On to the next. There's this guy who's at every Pomona swap meet. He specializes in vintage rims. So sure enough, he's here. These are typical 1970s slotted mag rims. You see them on every kind of vehicle done in the 70s for sure. Here we go. I didn't come out here for recreation, you know? I'm on a shopping mission. So I got the engine, I got the tires, the rims. I'm feeling pretty good about it. The transaxle is kind of a touchy thing. They're expensive for good ones, so I'm gonna talk to my friends, see if I can't just get a used one that'll work. Been drilling all kinds of pieces of metal. All I got from Rich was this fork set, these 2 shocks, and the front tire. So I need to get bolts, bearings, bushings, metal plates, lock washers, the whole deal. The big challenge is to make this whole assembly look good and operate properly. And it's really custom tailored for this bike. Rich's whole take on this front fork was that the Springer forks would be lost up in this big fiberglass body. You wouldn't see them. So he said, put the springs down low. You'll see the whole setup right next to the rim. He thought it was a perfect complement for this fiberglass nose, and I agree. This is what I was expecting with the Trike. There's a lot of mechanical stuff that is pretty important, like the alignment of the front tire, the function of the springs on the forks, the pivoting of all the controls. If the forks fail, you fail. Especially if the controls fail, it's trouble. What I'm thinking is if we set this at 58 degrees, like you recommended, then we should be able to just tack weld this stuff in place. Setting up the rake is very important because the old dude says that's what's up. So I'm paying a lot of attention to make sure that it's to his specs. Pretty sneaky. This is all the gear for the headset. Yesterday at the machine shop, we blueprinted this pretty much and set up these holes so that they match what the existing lower bracket has. So just for simplicity, I'm gonna commit to this. See, I bored that center out yesterday, so a 1-inch will fit right through there. For me, the first step is this upper plate. See how it'll go on here? That, and then the bolts will go inside like that. See, that's the setup. But I don't want a big plate on top of the forks. That looks funny. So I don't think I need to tell you that. I'm gonna trace out a shape around these bolts, trim this plate back, and then trim the fork legs. So you may be asking yourself, did he just cut that with a wood saw? Yeah, it's a carbide tipped saw you would use for wood. They go through aluminum. It's not the most optimal thing to cut aluminum with. You'll see it loaded up a little bit on the tips, but with a brand new blade, it goes pretty quick. That's 5/8 aluminum. I'm gonna put these in place just to hold them. I'm gonna weld the sides in first, and I can take the plate off and weld the top. Goes through there. Followed the old dude's lead, and you know, he's done this before. All I had to do was make it my own. My job is done. 58 degrees to freedom. It's gonna be awesome. Need a VW transaxle. Don says, hey man, I got something. It used to work. It's been sitting for years and I don't want it. So no matter what condition, if he says that it's gonna turn all the gears, then I'm cool with it. It is ugly, but I got some degreaser and a seal kit. I'll make it happen. Just thinking about what these tires are gonna look like on here, you know? I'm all about putting this thing together right now. This is the look I wanted, you know? 70s slotted mags, Mickey Thompson Sportsman tires. That's the look, man. This is a 70s machine. Took about a foot out of the fork legs. Spur of the moment decision. caught my eye. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was just too long. But these handlebars are too small. They came out of that hole like that, so the forks are in the right spot. But see, they just look a little too dinky. I'm thinking about like a tube straight across this way and then 2 arches going right down into the headset. I feel like the whole flavor of this bike is just gonna be curved tubes. The idea of building these bars kind of mimics my whole process. You know, I didn't have a definite end to this. You know, I had a couple ideas, mainly that pullback, that sweeping bend coming off the headset, and then the top bar was really up in the air. It's really just put the pieces in place and see what looks and feels right. I think I could live with that. You know, I had about 4 different ideas in 20 minutes, and something happened. I ended up with handlebars. This thing's getting close. It's looking like a Trike. So I'm excited to have Kai check it out because now you get a real sense of what it's gonna be.
Ian called me up early today and told me to come over and check it out. He had done a few things to it. Whoa! What the hell?
Made a couple changes, sir.
No kidding. Man. What did you do to this thing?
Well, I started by just making a new frame.
This is not anything like I saw.
No, it was bent. Somebody crashed it. That's the problem. I put it on the table and measured it.
Really?
So that must have been why they took it apart, because that cheesy little frame, I have it over here, was full of lead.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, he got rid of the whole front end, the whole front part of the frame and created a whole new frame. The whole thing just looks nothing like I expected at all. This is crazy, man.
Crazy.
It doesn't look anything like I remember it.
See, this is what was there.
Yeah, right.
They filled it full of lead, but it was bent over like it got hit on the left side.
So that's why it was so heavy, huh?
Yeah, that's why
I was wondering about that.
But yeah, I just bent up some 1.5-inch tube, and I'm just working on the handlebars now.
Yeah, you didn't even use the ones that I had.
They were just too small, so I loved the general shape of them. But you know, I was trying with the nice curved frame. I was trying to get a nice curved bar. I think Kai was pretty quietly impressed.
I wouldn't mind riding this. Or at least try it out.
I think him walking in the door was the turning point. You know, he was all biased, had his own opinions. As soon as you walk in, you check it out, and you sit on the thing, I think he's gonna go for it. I think he's totally into this.
It's pretty amazing. But leave it to Ian, he comes up with this stuff, and I see total potential for this thing now. And personally, I can't wait to see it finished. I should have known.
Trying to get some floorboards made for this. I was thinking, this thing needs a little more weight in the front, and especially safety-wise. I was originally thinking like your feet would just hang down on some foot pegs, but seeing how light this thing is in the nose, I think putting a full tray, like a skid plate underneath that incorporates as a footrest too. That's pretty funky. That's what I'm looking for. I saw a really good design on Rich's Trike where there was no hand throttle, everything was controlled by your foot. I thought it looked really clean. I'm not gonna copy his design directly, but it's definitely the inspiration for this. Typical motorcycle arrangement, you have your throttle on your hand grip, your clutch on your left hand, and your brake, your front brake on your right. I'm gonna try to make these bars super clean by using all foot controls. I had these old excavation stakes, the big hunk of steel, but it had pretty neat, evenly drilled holes in it. So I just picked one hole, enlarged it to fit these tubes. I had the old shifter lever from the Trike, so that fit as a sleeve. I'm gonna use it as a bearing on this center one. And I just drilled these out to fit, so they will actuate a little flipper lever. That's the brake side on your right foot. And then this is the clutch side on your left foot. So they look fairly symmetrical. The really trick thing in Rich's trike was that he had a foot gas pedal, which I thought was super cool because your hands are free to just hold on. So I took this 3/8 rod I bought, and that fits right through the tube on the brake pedal. So this will have a third component that will be some kind of a lever here that as you turn it, this will have the throttle pedal. So you'll have a gas pedal outside of here, independent of your brake. I wanted it as compact, lightweight, and cool looking as possible, and it's all old stuff. This component is going to be welded shut. It's a one-time deal, and the only way to test it is to put it on the bike. So, stepping on the clutch, oh yeah, it's totally easy. It works. Well, I'm pretty familiar with linkages from, everything, you name it, dune buggies to motorcycles. So this is a pretty straightforward concept, but since I'm building it myself, there's a million variables. I'm just working with what fits closest to this design in my head. So it's just like a bunch of scrap metal, put on the table and make some linkages. I was thinking about welding another lever to this shaft, similar to what I did here, but there's not a lot of pressure on the throttle assembly, so I think I could just bend this 90 degrees, just bend this rod straight up and then over. So I saw this trick on Volkswagens. They were using roller pedals on their race cars, and I've seen a couple other people use skateboard wheels. So I think it's time to retire this unit. My days of small board riding are over. I think the skateboard gas pedal is perfect. I'm gonna do the same with the brake and the clutch. Okay. It actually works. Next up, fuel tank. Thanks to Mr. Trike up there, we got this cool stainless steel tank. And the only spot for it I can think of is here where the old one used to go. Basically gonna cut this thing in half. All right, so this thing's gonna go in the vehicle right about here. Glad that this works out. For me, the big concern at this point is just the body. It's in 2 pieces. I want it in 1 piece. All right, it's the moment of truth. My big concern was that this stuff would all glue together. Oh, look at that. Perfect parting line. I was worried that it was going to stretch and create rough edges. Quality control. Here he is. What do you think, man? I'm pretty happy with this. It would have been easy to overdo it. So I spent a lot of effort to underdo it. I think it's paid off. Everything here is what I was thinking. The tones are right on. I think if I clear coat the whole thing with this really fine metal flake, it's just gonna give a little pop in the sunlight. And that's it. I think this is pretty classy. It's not overblown. It shows off the body lines. And it's full custom. I got the trike all squared away, got it registered, took it on the shakedown run. The whole thing was figuring out how to ride this. You don't lean into it like a motorcycle. So before I got on the road, I took it out to the park, did a couple wheelies, a couple slides in the dirt just to see how it felt, how stable it was. And this thing tracks great. The whole thing is that this was purely inspired by other people. There was no check and balance like on other projects. So having the freedom to just do whatever I want, it's really cool.